Maybe you're trying to make ends meet, juggling between school, side hustles, and your dreams. Perhaps you're questioning why, no matter how hard you work, the road ahead seems filled with obstacles. The constant stress, the comparisons to others who seem to have it all together. Can you relate? Well, you're not alone. Financial struggles can feel like a storm cloud that never lets up, and sometimes it can make us question if we're on the right path. But here's the thing. What if I told you that these struggles, the ones that often feel like setbacks, are actually part of a bigger plan? That God, in His wisdom, might be using these moments to prepare you for something greater? Let's dive into that. You see, the world is always telling us that success equals wealth, that money equals happiness. Social media tells us that if we don't have the latest gadgets, the best clothes, or the highest paying job, we're somehow failing. But God's perspective on success and wealth is different, and His way of shaping us through financial struggles is far more profound than anything we see online. I want to talk to you about God's choice, how He can choose us, not in spite of, but because of our struggles. The Bible speaks about this in many ways, and there's one particular scripture that resonates deeply with this truth. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, God says, "But He said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me.'" When we go through financial struggles, it's easy to feel weak, like we've been abandoned or forgotten. But God uses these times to teach us the value of reliance on Him. In our weakness, He makes us stronger, more humble, and more prepared for the journey ahead. Now, think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers, thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit, and yet, all of this hardship led him to a place where he was able to save his family and a whole nation. His financial struggles and mistreatment didn't define him. God's plan was unfolding in the midst of it all, and when Joseph reached the place of abundance, he could say, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." In the same way, your financial challenges today might be God preparing you for something even greater. He may be teaching you patience, trust, and the wisdom to handle blessings when they come. When you're going through hard times, it's tempting to focus on the lack. But what if instead, you focused on what God is doing in you through those struggles? What lessons are you learning that are molding you into someone who will be able to handle a greater responsibility, not just with money, but with influence, leadership, and compassion? When we take a step back, we see that financial struggles don't define our worth. What defines us is the way we respond to those struggles. Are we seeking God in the midst of it? Are we learning, growing, and trusting that He has a plan for our lives, even if it doesn't look like what we expected? And here's the most important part. God does not measure success the way the world does. He sees the heart, not the bank account. If you've been chosen to walk through financial struggles, it's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of God's trust in you, His confidence that you can rise above it, and that you will do so with grace, humility, and wisdom.